To all the new cyclists, buying the most expensive bike that you can afford and have the cheapest gear is like how Johnny Depp felt when he started dating Amber Heard. Yeah, I guess we all know how that turned out. Hey guys, my name is Angel from Approved, and today we're going to go over the most important things every cyclist should know before they start riding. So first is the budget. I would say if you already know how much you're going to spend, just have around 500 euros that you can invest into a cycling gear. So a new helmet, new cycling shoes, and then also you need a base layer, bib shorts, and a shirt. New bib shorts 140 euro, new jersey let's say 130, so you have 270. Then you have new cycling shoes around 200, so that's 470 already. And then you have a new helmet, let's say around 100 euro, so that's 570 euro. And new sunglasses also, let's say around 100 euros, so that's 670 euros. Sounds like a lot, but that gear will get you started, and also you won't need to spend a lot of new money to invest in new, let's say, cycling gear. But yeah, like we all know, once we get going, I think everybody starts buying a lot of different cycling gear. So before you buy a bike, go get some advice from a professional bike fitter, or at least somebody that's been doing it for a couple of years. If you know which bike you want to get, you can ask them for advice. So what's the stem length, handlebar width, and also the most important thing, the size of the bike. So when you get into a bike shop, you have some sort of a feeling what's the correct bike for you, what's the correct equipment on there. So yeah, so you don't lose any extra money when you get the bike, and then you get a bike fitting, and then all of this thing needs to change, especially if you get the wrong bike size. That would be a waste of a lot of money. So regarding the bike fit, if you want to know how a professional bike fitter does his jobs, check out the link up somewhere will be the link. You can yeah, click that. Try to get a dealer that has at least, or a salesman that has at least 2 to 3 years of experience, so they will give you better advice. Probably they will ask you a lot of better questions than, let's say, a student that works in a bike shop or stuff like that. So yeah, let's say before you buy your first bike, you would need to be asked at least 10 to 15 questions. The salesman knows a lot of things about yourself, so he can advise you better, and at the end you will get a better bike because of it. And this will sound strange, but you need to trust the salesman. Yeah, if you have a lot of if you already know a lot about cycling, then you have like a general idea. But if you're a beginner, yeah, trust the salesman, and maybe have a friend that's been riding for some time go with you in the shop, because he will know probably in the first couple of minutes if the salesman knows what he's doing or not. The most important thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is the gear more important, or is the bike more important when you start riding? So like you know from the previous videos that we did, I had a couple of high-end bikes already in my cycling adventure. So now the BMC time machine is on hold for, let's say, a month or so. So my friend borrowed me his 20-year-old Bianchi again. This probably costs around 500 euro now, and the previous bike I have is probably around 16,000 euros, so it's a big gap. But this one gets me from point A to point B the same. It gets me from point A to point B as the BMC did. Of course, I'm a lot faster with that bike. it also feels better. I have better confidence on that bike, so on the descents, how I corner, stuff like that, everything is better on that bike. But today we're talking about what a beginner should look at when he's going on his cycling adventure, so when he's starting to cycle. So in my opinion, the gear is more important than the bike. We had that discussion on our first podcast that we're going to air in the next 10 days with Asos from Switzerland. So check that podcast out, subscribe, and you will be one of the first to see what the guys from Asos said regarding the gear, how they manufacture everything, how's the R&D behind it, and stuff like that. I think we went over some key points that you guys can take a lot of from that podcast. I'm excited to finally air it. You guys can see it next week. Regarding what's more important, the bike or the cycling gear, like I said, in my opinion, cycling gear is more important because every bike will get you from point A to point B. Keep in mind that this is when your bike has gone through a bike fitter, and or you already know what's your position, so you made the adjustment yourself, whatever it may be. If you have the correct position, I think the cycling gear is more important, because if you have crappy cycling gear, everything will bother you. If you have the wrong shoes, they will start to bother you. If you have the wrong helmet, it will bother you. If you have, I don't know, especially if you have the wrong bibs, they will bother you a lot. So yeah, just get yourself a good cycling gear when you start, and because you don't know if the bike will, if cycling is something that you would like to do in the future. But if you get the wrong cycling gear, I can almost guarantee you that you won't enjoy riding your bike. Get the right cycling gear first, and then if you see after a couple of years that cycling is something that you really enjoy, then you will buy a better bike. But that would also be true if you buy, I don't know, the best bike now, and believe me, in 2 years you would want something different, because cycling is changing a lot. It's similar to, I don't know, computers these days. So every year something new comes out. So yeah, don't be afraid when you buy a new bike. In next month something better will pop up, so you can always buy a new bike, a better new bike. But with cycling gear, a lot of new cyclists think they have a good bike, so nothing will bother them, but it's the other way around. If you have a good cycling equipment, good cycling gear, good bib shorts, good shirt, good helmet, shoes, and everything is set up properly, only then you will enjoy your cycling ride. I hope I convinced some of you guys that you will invest in a good cycling gear. Keep in mind, I'm still a good advocate for a good bike as well. But when you're starting up, when you don't know how much you're going to ride, I think it's more important to buy a better cycling equipment than to buy a more expensive bike. I hope I convinced someone. So yeah, enjoy, guys.